Battlefield Bad Company 1, 2024. The game has been out for 16 years now. How's the game doing now? Well, as a lot of you may be aware, in December of 2023, so just a few months ago, EA shut the servers down for a number of old Battlefield games. They shut down Battlefield 1943, Battlefield Bad Company 2, and Battlefield Bad Company 1. So there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is that the game still is not playable online. The good news, though, is that the game will one day be back online, at least for the PS3. There's a group of people right now that are working on bringing back online functionality for the PS3 version of Bad Company 1, and the reason why it is only the PS3 version and not Xbox 360 is because the PS3 is a lot easier to modify and reverse engineer, so you'll notice that there are a lot of old PS3 games over the years that have been shut down, but recently have been brought back, like the Killzone games, PlayStation Home, Warhawk, a number of titles. These are very talented people that work very hard for no money to bring these old games back online just because they care so much about these games and they want them to live on. And there is a group of people that are also trying to do the same thing for Bad Company 1 as well as Battlefield 1943. Bad Company 2, there's also some interest in bringing that back online as well, but the thing is, Bad Company 2 is still playable on the PC through custom servers, but as of right now, you have 1943 and Bad Company 1 that are not playable at all, except for Bad Company 1. If you want to play the single player, of course, you could still access that, but 1943 was an online-only experience, so not having the online, it's pretty much useless. Like, there's no... you can't get anything out of the game anymore. At least you still can with Bad Company 1, and it would still be worth playing, especially if you have never played the single player before. It is a shit ton of fun. The gameplay, obviously, is very dated, and you're gonna have to get past that, but the writing and the characters is just amazing. Like, you definitely have to experience it if you never have before. The only thing is that you will have to obtain a physical copy of the game on PS3 or Xbox 360 because it did get delisted from the digital store. So if you get it for cheap enough, it's like worth it for the campaign alone, but it just really sucks. It's heartbreaking, devastating that the online is no longer playable, although it will be one day. There's no timetable exactly because these things take a very long time. For example, Battlefield 2 Modern Combat was a game that was offline for 12 years, from 2011 until 2023, and it was just brought back recently, but I was the first person on YouTube to post a video playing multiplayer for it the day that the servers went back online. So I can promise you guys this, whenever the servers do come back for Bad Company 1, and as well as Battlefield 1943, I will be the first person to tell you guys and give you guys some gameplay. This gameplay, of course, was not taken this year. It was recorded a couple of days before the shutdown, and to be honest, this gameplay reminds me of how frustrating the multiplayer was at times, especially playing Rush, which was the most popular game mode in Bad Company 1. I mean, this is by far the most destructible Battlefield game in all of Battlefield history. You can blow up almost anything, level entire buildings with ease. This was actually the first Battlefield game to have destructible environments, the first Battlefield to use the Frostbite engine. So they were trying to figure out the balancing for all that and, you know, what works and what doesn't. So it's a very experimental game, and you can tell by some of the gameplay elements here. Like, whenever you're playing defense in Rush, you're never gonna win because the enemy team doesn't even need to plant the bomb like they do in other Battlefield games. They can just go on a helicopter, blow the shit out of the building, and the bomb is destroyed. Like, it's just so unfair, so unbalanced. You're never gonna have fun unless you're playing attack on Rush. You could have the best teammates possible, and you can have the worst opponents. If those guys are playing attack, they're gonna win 100% of the time. Like, I think of all the times I've played Bad Company 1, there's maybe been like 2 times where I actually won playing defense, or even seen anybody win on defense. And don't even get me started with the team killing. This was the easiest game to grief and troll because you can kill your teammates without any punishment. Like, you can kill them 20, 30 times and not get kicked out of the game. Like, at least in Halo, if you did that, they eventually kick you out and punish you. Not in this game. So back in the day, you would have people, like in Xbox Live parties, coordinate with each other and have it where they join the opposing team to their friend, but then they would sabotage the other team to help their friend win the game, killing all their teammates nonstop. Just, yeah, so this game is not perfect. It was not perfect. I did have a lot of fun with it, though, despite the gameplay and the movement feeling very weird and awkward. Even for a 2008 game, it just didn't feel right. And don't get me started with the gunplay. That was also not very good, if we're gonna be completely honest and take off our rose-tinted glasses and put our nostalgia aside. Bad Company 2 came out less than 2 years after Bad Company 1, and it just feels so much more polished, and it's just a much better game, and I think most of you will agree with me, but I also think most of you never even played this game. It was pretty forgotten in Battlefield history, and a big part of that was definitely because the Battlefield community at the time was mostly PC oriented, and this game was a console exclusive, never released on PC, though I find it interesting how the game would have actually played on PC with a custom FOV, especially because the FOV in this game is insane. I don't know if the game was really programmed to handle a higher FOV. And also playing it with keyboard and mouse and in 60 FPS, because this game was locked at 30 on the consoles. But if we did get a PC version, the game would most likely be playable right now because of the custom servers that people are using in Bad Company 2 to keep that game going. Probably the same would have happened for Bad Company 1. Bad Company 1 was the beginning of the consoleization of the Battlefield series, which was traditionally PC-oriented, now was starting to cater to the console market, and this game was designed completely for console gamers, and in later games they would always implement things that would be more friendly towards the console gamer and kind of pushing the PC community to the side, sadly. But despite its problems, I do miss this game's multiplayer. I had a lot of fun, especially in Conquest, not so much Rush. Hopefully sometime soon the game will be brought back and playable once again.